Hi, I'm Portee, fashion and lifestyle journalist and editor of Zayla magazine. I've always been interested in biographies and in the stories of people's lives, basically listening to what stirs their souls. Welcome to the Soulful Side of Life, where I let you in on some of my conversations with inspiring people from around the world in fashion, faith, entertainment, music, and entrepreneurship. These are conversations that stir the soul about people's journeys, about the ups and downs of life, and how they have overcome certain situations. I hope that these episodes will inspire your life in some way, so enjoy over a cup of something hot or on your drive to work. This is the Soulful Side of Life and can be found on Spotify Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. Welcome to another episode of the Soulful Side of Life with me, Portee. I hope that you're well and having a good week. I'm trying to get over a cold, but that aside, I'm looking forward to this podcast episode with this inspiring woman. Since 2013, Sara Murad has been a media presenter in the Middle East. She's a senior TV presenter on NBC One and a founder of her own fragrance brand, by Sara Murad. Her work has taken her around the world, capturing stories and meeting amazing people. And you can often find Sara sitting front row at fashion weeks, at Formula One in Jeddah, or hosting some of the Middle East's biggest events. Originally from Saudi Arabia, Sara is very proud of her heritage, and she aspires to show her country to the world. And one way she does that is through her fragrance brand. Growing up around unique scents of oud and musk inspired her first fragrance, Black Oud. The brand isn't just a scent, but it's an experience. It's a bridge between the timeless traditions of the past and the bold spirit of the present with a clear vision of the future. Enjoy this podcast episode with this inspiring woman. Her wisdom seeps through, and I hope that you're inspired and that you learn something from the conversation. Sara, thank you so much for joining the podcast. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so you're from Saudi Arabia and it's transforming drastically. When you think about your country and all that's happening there, what comes to mind?
I'm so proud. I feel proud. I feel happy. I feel excited about what's coming. And everyone wants to jump in this change. They want to be part of it, whether developing themselves or developing their career or just opening a small business, because there's a lot of opportunities happening. So I think every Saudi person right now feels like they're so proud and happy and excited and looking for opportunities. How can they be part of this change? So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, I can imagine, because when it was closed, did Saudis ever think like, oh, things are never going to change? Was there a hopelessness, or could the country see that on the horizon changes were going to come?
Honestly, I think my generation, we saw a bit of change happening, but it was very slow, I would say. And then all of a sudden, I think the big shock was the announcement of women can drive. I think after that happened, we really felt that anything can happen anytime. And this is when all the boundaries got broken. So I think we saw it happening very slowly, and then everything happened in the same time. So it's very like exciting and empowering.
Yeah, for sure. So when I saw you at Riyadh Fashion Week, you mentioned how women designers before the country opened up were very shy to put their face with the brand. Why do you think women designers were shy before the changes? And do you think little Saudi girls now are dreaming bigger than ever?
I'm not sure, Ali, if shy is the right word to use. I think it's just maybe fashion wasn't taken very seriously back then. It's always looked at, and just like any other country, it always looked at as it could be a hobby on the side, or it could be like a passion that you can do next to your job. It's not really a career. So it was never taken seriously. And I think also women, like me and you, we always spoke about the culture in Saudi and the family bond that they have there. So women in general always focus on their families, on their husbands, on their kids. But I think now even the country is so empowering for women, with all the rules that are changing, they're helping women to have a right balance between their career and their family, so they won't feel like they have to choose. Like I'll tell you, for example, I think a month or 2 months ago, they changed the law of maternity. Like anyone who wants to go on maternity leave, instead of 10 weeks, it's 12 weeks now, and it's paid as well. Wow. And you can extend it if you have like any kind of condition. Wow. But that empowers a woman. It really helps her, like, okay, I'm not going to stop having a family, and I can actually be good at what I do. So they're really supportive like that. So I think before, in fashion, like it wasn't taken very seriously, but I think now with the Ministry of Culture happening and focusing on fashion and focusing on beauty and cooking and music, all these things are empowering designers to take their work more seriously, and they're trying as much as they can to provide them the expertise from abroad to help them even and to support them to grow their business and to grow their talent. So I think it's just like the opportunities 10 years ago versus today changed a lot, which made designers more, I would say, confident to show their work and to invite people to their shows and to travel abroad and to show their designs,
Yeah, I totally get it. Do you feel that little girls are dreaming big in Saudi compared to previous generations?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think previous generations maybe thought about certain careers, whether being an engineer or a doctor or like a certain careers. And I think that's worldwide, Ali, if you agree with me. But right now you see girls in sports, you see a girl going to space, you see a girl in Formula One. So I think definitely a young girl now in Saudi she is growing up seeing that nothing is impossible.
Yeah. Did that maternity leave new law carry over for men? Is there paternity leave in Saudi, or is it just for women?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't think it's that long for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But honestly, I think it's lucky to grow. Any woman would be, or any couple would be lucky to grow a family in Saudi, because Saudi is very family oriented, and they will have all the support they need around them, whether it's from work or from their own family, their own parents, their sisters, their uncles. The bond there is really, Ali, to be honest, like I've traveled to a lot of places, but you can never see a bond like you find in Saudi Arabia. And all of my non-Saudi friends who lived in Saudi, when they leave, they said, I never built a relationship or a friendship like I did in Saudi. So whether there is a paternity leave or not, she will have the support from everyone around her.
Yeah, which is really great, because I think sometimes that's lacking. Like in the US, you could live in New York, but your parents live in California, and you're so far where you're not able to have that family support. And it's nice to see countries that have that.
Yeah, the mom, even if she lives in another city, she'll leave everything and move to where her daughter is, just to support her at least the first 40 days.
Yeah, to be there. Yeah. Did you know that you wanted to be in media when you were growing up?
No, not at all. Actually, I was studying maybe we never spoke about this, Ali, but I actually am a graphic designer, graduated
Oh.
as a graphic designer, yeah. And I worked in advertising. I was a junior art director in the beginning of my career. But this is also when my life changed, is when I got pregnant with my daughter, Malak. And after the delivery, it was very difficult for me to go back to work because a graphic designer would have like a 12 hours job, and it takes a lot from you. So I really couldn't go back. And I started blogging about fashion. And this is when a team from Rotana, like a TV channel, they called me. They're like, we like what you're doing with your blog. Can you do the same thing on TV? And then I laughed. I'm like, me, TV? There is no way I can do that. And then honestly, they gave me a very flexible hours. They understood that I'm a new mom. And it's in something that every girl likes, which is fashion and beauty. And I signed a 3-month contract that turned to 3 years. And that's how my media career started.
But it's funny. I think, a lot of people stumble into things. And we don't often do what we majored in university. And I think when you look at really successful people's lives, a lot of people wonder, wow, how did you become CEO or found this hotel chain? But I think a lot of times a person doesn't plan for the career, the life path that they have. It's a series of small steps and small breakthroughs that get you
Absolutely.
to be the presenter on NBC or yeah. So it's a reminder to relax in life, especially when you're in high school. Just relax.
It's hard to relax, to be honest. Like I honestly, I don't know the struggle that the new generation now they're going through. I feel like there's so many majors, there's so many jobs. It's so hard to find a job for people who are graduates. But I would say if anyone who is not brave enough to try a new opportunity, they will never find where their path can go. Because if I felt like worried when I got the job in media, if I felt worried or ashamed, or if I heard about what people think about it, or I won't take the job, and I don't know where I would be right now. But I think it just sometimes, like, everyone gets the opportunity, and either you face your fears and you say, no, let me try it and then I'll decide. Or people just decide from their couch. They say, oh no, this is not my thing, like I'm not gonna do it. So I always like tell younger generation, like, just try. Never say no to any opportunity you get, even if it's something that you never thought that you would do. Just try it and then decide.
Yeah.
I always tell my daughter the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. What's the best part of your job?
I think meeting people, Ali. Like, I love meeting people from different nationalities, from different careers, from different backgrounds. And I learned a lot from them, to be honest. They changed my life. Like, all the guests that I'm meeting on the morning show, I'm meeting around 5 every day for the past 8 years. It helped me build who I am. It helped me how to improve myself, to become a better mom, to become a better friend. So I think the kind of people who come to the show and the kind of topics that we discuss really helped me to just find my way, So I think that's the best part of my job, to be honest, just learning something new every day.
Yeah, and being able to relate to all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I think of like a lifestyle or journalist is kind of like a member of a royal family, in the sense where they're meeting, one day, or maybe in one day, a fireman, a teacher, a community center. Their job never is the same olds. And I think they're kind of similar, where you get to meet so many different cool, fascinating people.
Absolutely. And all ages as well. Like, you meet like kids, you meet graduates, you meet like people who are in their 40s and 50s. So you learn from other people's experience. And they always say, like, there's a difference between learning from your own mistakes and learning from other people's mistakes. It's just like faster and more faster and growing as well. So it's just interesting to hear people's experiences.
For sure. Um, I know that you used to cover fashion a lot more. Do you miss being at fashion weeks?
Um, Honestly, I think I had enough. I've done it for 3 years. I think every girl now would love to have an invite from to a fashion show once in a while, for sure.
Yeah.
But to have it as a career, I think it's one of the most difficult careers ever. So God bless you, Ali. Like, I don't know how you do it. All the traveling, all the running between shows. Sometimes there's not enough time to head to the show after. So it's, I remember the rush and like the crazy vibe around it, and it's a lot of work. So God bless all the people who work there. But I think 3 years was so much fun. But I prefer my job now, where it's which is more settled and has more of a routine that works with my daughter as well. So I can have lunch with her every day, and I'm blessed to have that.
Yeah, it is tiring, and I think it's the perfect job when you're in your mid-20s, if you
Yeah,
don't have a family, because yeah, it's a lot.
yeah, it
Um,
is.
did you ever consider becoming a designer yourself or designing something?
I mean, I would like to call myself a perfume designer now since I
Yeah,
have a perfume brand.
yeah.
Um, I've always loved fashion. I would like styling and buying, but I wouldn't call myself interested in designing. But working now in the perfume industry is really interesting because you're mixing oils and mixing scents. So it's kind of designing, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And it's so much fun. And I think I grew up in a culture that appreciates perfume so much. And
Mm-hmm.
growing up, seeing my mom has like a full tray of different kind of scents. So when I travel, like I always notice that we buy international brands, but nobody, the international people would never buy a local brand. So I wanted to find this interesting mix where it can work for locals and for international. So it was a challenge, and I'm still challenging myself to find the right sense. And I think, Ali, you've tried Black Oud, and
Yes,
you wrote a beautiful article about it. Thank you so much for that.
of
You were
course.
always supportive.
Of course.
But I'm also excited to tell you that I'm launching my second one now in June. So I'll
Wow.
send you one picture and hope you like it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Do you find that Western women are open to oud?
You know, it was very heartwarming to see a lot of my non-Arab friends who live in Dubai. They really like the oud and black oud because it's just it's lighter. It's a lighter version than the classical one that we use at home. And that's the whole purpose of the brand, to find those like cultural sense and the right mix so you can satisfy all kind of needs, like whether it's the love of oud or the something different kind of scent, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
it does make
Yeah.
sense. And was it your mom totally that inspired you to launch a fragrance brand and that her tray of scents as opposed to starting a handbag brand or clothing?
I think so. I think that would be the image that I can remember from my young days. But it's also my love of perfumes and my passion of collecting. I have a lot of perfumes. Like I think I have, you know what? I should count them, to be honest. But I have a lot of perfumes. I collect them, and I love mixing it. Really, there's something artistic about it because it really depends on your mood and where you're going and which time of the day is it. Are you heading to the gym? Are you going out just to get some groceries? Like every place and time has a scent. So
Yeah,
it's a really interesting field to work in.
I can imagine because it's so personal. Like,
Yeah.
I was in Monoprix yesterday in the clothing section, and I
Mm.
smelled some of the leather, and it took me back to my first grade teacher's classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, how that
Yeah.
works. Okay,
Mhm.
so two last questions. You've spoken about the hardships that you faced in your first marriage, and what caught my attention is that when you were fighting for custody of your daughter, you decided to surrender that challenge into God's hands because it was a hard battle. Why is surrendering life's challenges into God's hands so important instead of like carrying that and trying to fight it in your own strength?
You know, as you asked the questions, I you took me to exactly, I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago when I was sitting in the car, and when I surrendered to God, like exactly how you described it. I can see it happening in my memory right now. Um, the thing is, Ali, you know, it's the fight of custody. Like my fight of custody took almost like 2 years. So 2 years, I really tried the best I can. Spoke to the best lawyers. Went to court so many times. So I think when you reach a dead end, and you know by heart that you really tried everything, and everyone you go to, like they'll tell you, Sara, you did everything, there's nothing more that you can do. When you reach that point, you really have to have a bit of faith. And this faith is by just surrendering to God, and like believing that whatever happens, it will be for a greater reason that we know. And this is the point where I just surrendered, like, and it was like, even I think my brain is like trying to like let go of my daughter, like meaning that not let go of her, but let it go of the idea of like I'm gonna win this because I really did the best I can. And now it's just about faith. Like I have to have faith that it will work, and if it doesn't, I also have to have faith that it means it's for a good reason. I don't know what it is. I will not understand it, but maybe like later on in life I will. But thank God, like the faith like didn't go like as bad as I thought, like, and thank God I won the custody.
Yes, thank God you did. Your daughter is your twin. It's
I know they
she
always say,
looks
you
just
should
like,
hear her speak, by the way. She has like my character as well.
wow.
She's even stronger than me, and I always wonder what is she going to be like in the future with all this knowledge and confidence. Like I've only had it like later on in life when I grew up, after experiences, after a lot of like hard things in my life, but she has it already. So I'm very excited for her future, to be honest.
I
She
think
has a lot of potential.
I think each generation gets a confidence earlier than the previous one.
Yeah.
Because my cousin, she said, you know, I look at your generation and you women are so confident. My generation wasn't. Um, yeah, and I think it's social media or how the times change. And people, the world isn't as racist or sexist or all these things as it used to be. So that helps
I think it's
girls.
the awareness, I would
Yeah.
say, the awareness that comes from social media or from their exposure to life, whether it's on YouTube or there's so many tools that they can find out more about the world. Like we were very limited; we didn't have so much to look at.
Yeah,
So I think the level of awareness is just like greater because of the exposure they have.
for sure. Okay, so the last question, what advice do you give to women desiring to be married? What do they need to look for in a guy to be sure he's a safe choice?
Oh wow! I mean, being married like for the second time, I never thought I'd do that. I have to say, like when I met my husband, it took me a while to get to know him, to trust him, and when I knew that he checks all the points that I like, I would still like be really scared. I didn't want to get hurt, and I think that's the most difficult thing for every girl is they never want to get hurt again. But I'm going to tell them what my therapist told me, because I had to go to therapy to get over this fear. He told me that, Sarah, like there's nothing 100% guaranteed in life. this is just the fact that we have to live with. We can't be scared all the time. So if you think he's a good partner, then you have to try. Like, this is life. You have to keep trying. So what I would tell them, just don't be scared. Just make sure that they check the right boxes. And nothing is guaranteed in life. And I really wish everyone to find their happiness. And a good partner is the right partner. Like, I just want them to get married for the right reasons. So it always has to be for the right reasons. Yeah.
For sure. Wow. Well, Sara, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for having me. Really, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, you're filled with wisdom and you're so kind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're so sweet. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode and that you have found a soulful connection to the conversation. God bless you, and until the next episode, go bless somebody else.